हक में फैसला आएगा। मुझे पूरी आस उम्मीद है 140 करोड़ भारतवासियों को 13 तारीख को फिर जो है खुशी मिलने की मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है। न्यायालय पर मुझे न्यायालय पर भरोसा है। अच्छे वकील करें भारत सरकार ने और हम सब जो है 13 तारीख का इंतजार करेंगे। आप सबका जो है मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ। आप भी जो है 3-4 दिन से यहाँ जो है काफ़ी मेहनत करें, सारे पत्रकार मीडिया आप भी इंतजार करें। शायद आपकी ने जो इतनी मेहनत की है, भगवान जो ना आपकी जो मेहनत की है इसकी जो है खुशी के लिए एक दिन आपको बढ़िया खुशी की खबर मिलेगी।
So Mahavir Singh Phogat over there expressing his optimism about Vinesh's chances of bringing that silver medal. But let's quickly go across to Ananya, who's been stationed at Vinesh Phogat's residence in Haryana. Ananya, what is the sense that you're getting from everyone over there? We heard what Mahavir Singh Phogat had to say, but he's also talked about how they are still shelving hopes to convince Vinesh to not announce her retirement just yet.
Well, definitely, Mr. Mahavir Phogat had, advised Vinesh not to actually announce a retirement post this particular Olympic session, and very clearly he wants her to actually prepare for the 2028 Olympics as well. But at this point of particular point of time, as per the official release of, in fact, the Court of Arbitration of Sports, the verdict has been deferred till tomorrow. The same time at 9:30 p.m. the Indian Standard Time and the 6 p.m. The Paris time that this particular verdict would be pronounced, and very clearly and categorically at this particular point of time. The press release also clarifies that only an operational order would be passed tomorrow. The detailed judgment would be coming in a little later, so only we'll get to know as to whether or not Vinesh has been allowed to go for the joint silver medal or not. But the reasons and the findings of the court with regards to its decision is something that would come out a little later. So tomorrow is the day when this verdict would actually come out, and very clearly and categorically at this particular point of time, Vinesh Phogat is under the limbo, and in fact all Indians are waiting with their fingers crossed and praying to in fact their respective gods to actually give a favorable order to Vinesh Phogat. Remember that the Indian contingent had argued that Vinesh had not used any kind of artificial substance, and all of the weight that has increased was completely natural and was a part of a recovery process, which is a fundamental right of any wrestler when it comes to after fighting such strong bouts. She had a right to actually replenish her body, and this 100-gram weight increase is nothing more than a natural recovery process of her body. So strong arguments being addressed by Vidushpat Singhania for the Indian Olympic Association, and in fact senior advocate Harish Salve, who appeared for Vinesh Phogat. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out and what is the verdict of the Court of Arbitration for Sports.
And Ananya, many are wondering if it will end with the verdict of CAS, because many are also asking, can this not be challenged at the Swiss court as well?
Well, at this particular point of time, definitely there would be certain kind of legal remedy against this Court of Arbitration for Sports decision. But at this point of time, everybody is contemplating what the verdict would be, and then seeing the verdict later, it would be seen as to whether or not this can actually be challenged, whether there are grounds, right, per se to challenge this particular order or not. Because for that, detailed reasoning would be, required to see as to whether the order have been passed with a clear reasoning or without a particular reasoning is something that we'll have to wait to watch for. But at this particular point of time, the only question that everybody wants to know the answer to is whether or not Vinesh Phogat has secured a joint silver medal.
Ananya, since you're talking about the reasoning at the moment, what I want to ask you also is the argument that's being presented by the UWW right now. They're saying that the idea is to encourage wrestlers to fight in categories which are closer to their natural body weight. Is this also a sort of awakening and a lesson learned for the Wrestling Federation of India?
Well, it can be said so, but as we spoke to various legal experts on this particular issue, many had, criticized this particular rule with regards to 100-gram increase in the weight, because it's barely nothing. 100-gram increase in the weight is barely nothing, and the various legal experts suggest that this rule should be gone away with, because it is a minor increase in the weight, and majorly, when an athlete is disqualified, it is seen whether he has used some kind of in fact artificial substance, whether he has forged his weight or not, and that is a major ground for disqualification in wrestling, at least. So we'll have to wait for in fact the verdict of the CAS to actually know what are the reasons behind the court's verdict, and what the verdict first of all is to be as to whether Vinesh would be given a joint silver medal or not.
And what happens if Vinesh does win that joint silver? As I was asking you earlier, important to also highlight how unprecedented this scenario has been for the world of wrestling.
Well, definitely it is an unprecedented event that is happening at the Paris Olympics 2024. But if, Vinesh Phogat wins this particular joint silver medal, India would have another medal on its tally, and UUWW, the United World Wrestling Federation, can actually go ahead and challenge this particular order in higher courts. There would be some kind of a remedy available against this order of the Court for Arbitration of Sports. This is, remember, a single arbitrator. There might be, a provision with regards to how this could be challenged before a larger bench of the Court of Arbitration for Sports. But all of that would only happen when this verdict actually comes out. It had to come today, but the deadline has been extended by 24 hours, and the judgment would be coming out tomorrow.